Jai Sadgurudeo. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to weekly English Satsang organized by North America Institute of Vihangam Yoga. My name is Rituraj and I've joined the Satsang from Connecticut. Before I proceed further, I would like to offer my prayers to the lotus feet of Sadgurudeo. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurudev Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. In the current times, our day-to-day life has become busy in fulfilling our physical and mental requirements and social responsibilities. In this fast-paced routine life, the requirements of the soul are often forgotten. So first, I would like to congratulate each one of you for taking some time from your busy schedule to fulfill the requirements of your soul through this satsang. Now, we are going to move on to the core segment of our satsang. In this segment, a speaker will talk on a topic related to Vihangam Yoga. Once the talk is over, the floor will be open for all the listeners, where we will do a broader discussion on the same topic and try to address your curiosities. Our speaker today is Utkarshji, an Updesta from Vihangam Yoga and a guiding light from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Most of you would have seen him offering his seva, especially during Swamiji's Amritwani in the US, by doing a live English translation of Swamiji's speech to non-Hindi people. And today's topic that we're going to discuss is we'll learn why Prathamacharya is considered one of the greatest Karma Yogis. Over to you, Utkarshji.
Jai Sadgurudeo. Good morning and happy Sunday to everyone. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity of Seva today. I will try to do justice to my interpretation, understanding, and translation of this article on one of the greatest Karma Yogis that has walked the surface of this earth. This article was written by the present Sadgurudeo, Sadguru Swatantra Dev Ji Maharaj, in the memory of his father, Sri Dharmachandra Devji Maharaj, or whom we fondly call Prathamacharya, or the first teacher. We all know spiritual knowledge has always been a revered tradition of notable lineages of sages. In such lineages, the word Acharya, an accomplished teacher with Brahma Vidya experiential knowledge, they continue to arrive into this world time and time and again with the sole purpose of liberating humanity from sufferings. His Holiness Sri Sadguru Dharmachandra Devji Maharaj was one such soul, who was born in the illustrious Gautam Gotra, the lineage of Sangya dynasty, to the great Yogi father, our beloved Guru, Ananta Sri Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj. His mother, Srimati Vimla Devi Ji, and he was born at 2 p.m. on 28th February in the year 1919. This was in the village of Pakri, Balia district in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. One could tell that the spiritual glow and radiance of Dharma on the face of this baby boy from the Yogi Kul, it was so evident that Sadgurudeo, Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj immediately named him Dharma Chandra. This was synonymous with the reflection of Dharma, the righteousness, and in the physical world, just like how light from the sun gets reflected off the moon or the Chandra. So Maharshi Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj being the sun to the spiritual world, who liberated the work from darkness by bringing forth the light, the lost light of Brahmavidya Vihangam Yoga into a dark world, just like how the sun rises and dispels all darkness. Same way, Acharya Sri Dharmachandra Devji Maharaj, he absorbed this same knowledge and arrived into the world to continue spreading the same, just like the moon that guides travelers in a weary night. The birth of a yogi born into the lineages of yogis transpires through the Almighty's divine plan. The divine strategy therefore materialized with the advent of this great yogi. The revered spiritual master Ananda Shri Sadguru Sadapal Dev Ji Maharaj, he wrote in his diary on this day, "Aaj ek yogi prakat hua hai," or a yogi has appeared today. These words of Swamiji establish the greatness of the yogic life of Sri Prathamacharya Ji. Such a position comes with immense responsibility. Prathamacharya Ji spent his childhood following the traditional Rishi ashram way of life and mastered not only the texts written in Hindi and Sanskrit, but also from the Urdu language. A Maulavi who lived in a nearby village, he used to visit the ashram to teach Urdu to Sri Prathamacharya Ji. Thus, he became fluent in Hindi, Sanskrit, and the Urdu languages. We must note that he did not receive any formal education from a college or university, but received all worldly and spiritual knowledge within the ashram under the guidance of his father and guru. Such special souls do not require knowledge from the outside world, and instead they imbibe all knowledge through a special yogic feat in the state of antaha pragya. When Sri Prathamacharya turned 19 in the year 1938, the Mahakumbh festival was occurring in Haridwar. At the special congregation, in the presence of great saints and numerous disciples, Swamiji decided to name Sri Prathamacharya his successor and announced his name as the next Acharya of the Vihangam Yoga Santa Samaj. Prathamacharya wrote, remembering that day, Sadgurudeo at the banks of river Ganges in the presence of disciples in the year 1995 until 1938 AD, 1995 being the Vikram Samvat calendar year. Shukla Chaturdashi in the morning announced me as a successor Acharya. I vividly remember that Swamiji, while putting vermilion on my forehead, had said in a low voice that this is happening 15 years early. However, at the time I could not understand its significance, and that Swamiji had planned to give up his mortal frame after 15 years. Those words of Sadgurudeo were more of a spiritual indication. After that announcement, Swamiji started spending more time in Prachar. He used to travel across India, gave discourses on Brahmavidya, Vihangam Yoga, and made efforts to organize and establish a Santa Samaj. All the other activities of the Santa Samaj now came upon the strong shoulders of Sri Prathamacharya Ji. And this was a long list, including not just writing letters, preparing, proofreading of all the books, activities related to ashram comforts and stay and daily living. Sri Prathamacharya Ji used to carry out all obligations and did his own bhajan or sadhana while staying at the Madhumati ashram, Gaya, following the instructions from Swamiji. During this period, a divine event pertaining to yoga sadhana happened in his life, which invokes a sense of astonishment and wonder. This event occurred in 1951, 3 years before Swamiji gave up his mortal frame. Sri Prathamacharya Ji was performing meditation as usual around 3 a.m. at the Madhumati Ashram in Gaya, Bihar, India. In his words, I left my pranas embodied in my body and started ascending high in the zone of consciousness outside my body and continued to rise higher and went beyond the Sadguru's divine secret zone, the zone of consciousness. I decided that since that universal power is omnipresent, then why one has to be confined within one zone? It is our own primal form, our own zone, and hence one can ascend in the sky endlessly. In my joy, I continue to ascend. But after some time, when I wanted to come down, I was not able to find the pranas at the gate, at the entrance into my own body. Due to lack of power, I was getting worried, and my breathing life force was diminishing. Due to lack of pranas, my powers were not working. At this time, I was reminded by a voice to remember Sadgurudeo. I thought when coming this far, the Lord, the power of Lord Almighty is still connected with us, then why is it necessary to remember Sadgurudev? But I cannot explain the pain I was undergoing. So in this situation, I remembered Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj, who was present at the Vrittikut Ashram in Balia, Uttar Pradesh at the time. Sadgurudev became agitated at the same instant and started saying that someone is in great distress who is calling to him. Who is this person? After saying this, through his great divine powers, he assessed and knew exactly who this soul was, and then clearly spoke that he is the same Mahatma. He has committed a big mistake. And instantly, Swamiji breathed in twice, and at the same instant, my breath came down, and slowly I could start seeing outside through my physical eyes. After 3 months, when I visited Vrittikut Ashram, Swamiji said, I saved your life. Even Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh could not fathom the expanse. You went on to measure that? How dangerous was that? Do not repeat the mistake. This experience of Sri Prathamacharya points to the secrets of spiritual science. The importance of Sadguru Satta in meditation becomes clear from this passage from Prathamacharya. This is the reason why Sadguru's divine secret zone is defined, and what should meditate only based on that. Sadgurudev had also mentioned to Sri Padmacharya about giving up his mortal frame around the same time, right around ordaining him as Sadguru. He wanted to authorize him for initiating others into the final or the fifth stage of Vihangam Yoga meditation, which is also known as Sarishabda Upadesh. For this work, many times Swamiji called Prathamacharya near his asan. Prior to giving up his physical body, Swamiji had said that the time has come to actually empower the authority of a successor. Because announcement is not the authority, right? So the authority to provide the last stage of Vihangam Yoga meditation was extremely important. The power was obtained by Lord Sadgurudev after 17 long years of strenuous penance and is the most precious knowledge in the world. Therefore, Swamiji warned that this great treasure has been earned from the penance of many of my previous births. Keep it safe and bestow only to those seekers who are fit in all respects. Swamiji empowered Sri Prathamacharya with the power to give Sar Shabdopdesh. After this, Swamiji authorized him as his successor, executing his pre-planned strategy that he had announced. So finally, it was in the year 1954, 15 days prior to giving up his physical body. Swamiji was preparing Sri Prathamacharya for taking the responsibility of the Sadguru Pad, the authority of Sadguru. However, Sri Prathamacharya often had confusion in his mind. The Swamiji still appeared physically strong, and there are immeasurable yogic powers in him. I simply will continue to support the prachar work as instructed. Therefore, in Swamiji's absence, how will I be able to carry out all the duties alone when he is not here to guide me? And this kept Acharya awake, worried, which in turn agitated Swamiji. And Swamiji spoke, I talk about everything, but you won't say a word. The work is big. the prachar, you will do it, right? Despite the command, Acharya Shri stayed silent during that interaction. Then Swamiji exclaimed, "Someone whom I prepare for prachar, at this last hour, he doesn't speak? Oh Lord, when you say that you're going to do prachar work, not only then can I give up my physical body with ease." At this urging, Acharya Shri said, "Fine." Now, finally pleased, Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj said, "Yes, it is fine. All will happen. Prachar will also grow. There is no dearth. Whatever scarcity you feel will remain only till this moment. When I leave my body, the paucity will go away and all my powers and knowledge will flow into you." Who said a yogi's path is easy? And a yogi and a sant's path is full of sacrifices. So, despite all these assurances, Acharya Shri felt lonely and he doubted his own powers and abilities. Swamiji often used to sense this state of mind and kept asking him, "Why do you feel so weak? I have already transmitted all my spiritual powers into you. You're not able to experience it yet. But when my mortal body will be laid down in samadhi, then you will start experiencing all that energy I've acquired, this spiritual treasure after immense efforts. I acquired it and I will leave empty handed, passing every single bit of it to you." Hearing these beautiful words from Swamiji, Acharya Shri was at last filled with enthusiasm and he readily accepted the responsibility of a great successor. Prathamacharya ji has written a lot about the interactions he had with Sadgurudeo during Bade Swamiji's final few days. And these interactions gave him a lot of answers that he had to the questions he had forever. This included the past, including all events related to Sri Prathamacharyaji's previous births were answered, including the place of Samadhi, the name, his names, the names of his gurus from his previous birth, etc. And it included information about the future too. Like Swamiji also mentioned major events that were supposed to happen in the future, in which the foreword to the book Bijak Bhashya that Sri Prathamacharya would write was explicitly mentioned. We all know the big responsibility of translating, doing the bhashya of Swarved, Swamiji's Chintamani, was also assigned to Sri Prathamacharya ji. Sri Swamiji was also very, very clear about the place and the time when Sri Prathamacharya ji would give up his physical body and instructed him to make a note of it in the diary. He had said that you will give up your mortal frame on Monday, the 28th July 1969 at Balia by the river Ganga. Prathamacharya Shri hinted at this event in an editorial of the monthly magazine Sadguru Sandesh. From 1954 to 1969, that means for 15 years, have to propagate the knowledge of Brahma Vidya Vihangam Yoga. Only 15 years. Despite knowing the end, that his life is going to end at the age of 50, and the gargantuan tasks that lied ahead of him, Sri Prathamacharya, a true yogi, never worried and continued to manage all duties with true selfless motives. The intense writings of Acharya Sri continued, and many books resulted. Swamiji said to Acharya Sri Pratham, "You were supposed to get liberated from this world in the previous birth itself. I brought you here into another body because I had to get the prasar work done." This is a major revelation to anyone. Acharya Sri Pratham fondly used to say, "My father is a yogi. There's so much spiritual energy in him. I understood this only in my last few days. Prathamacharya accomplished numerous feats in such a short period of time. But not many of us know about everything that happened behind the scenes. Shri Prathamacharya ji was a great karma yogi, an able grihastha sant, or a householder saint, an amazing orator, a writer, and an extremely good communicator of principles and philosophies of Vihangam Yoga, which made him immensely sought after. He got married to Sushri Kamala Devi ji, the daughter of Sri Shiv Pujan ji, Singh ji, a freedom fighter from again from another great lineage. In 1931, when Prathamacharya ji was just 12 years old. As a Grihast son, he was even blessed with 3 sons and 2 daughters. The marriage itself brought an added responsibility to Sri Prathamacharya ji's life. While his family life was getting busier, he was also getting increasingly involved in helping out Swamiji with his work. He used to read all letters and all the documents addressed to Swamiji and draft their responses. He was the one who used to prepare drafts of books that were handwritten by Swamiji and served the visitors, disciples, and other sages and sadhus that visited the ashram. Sri Prathamacharya ji also answered the queries and clarified doubts of any seekers who were visiting the ashram, always being available and aiming to satiate their queries before they were ready to receive an upadesh or the initiation into Vihangam Yoga. All visitors were elated with the responses and they experienced spiritual elevation in their life after the darshan of Swamiji. Sri Prathamacharya ji accomplished all this with extreme diligence. He was diligent not just in his seva, he was also diligent in disbursing his duties as a father, a husband. He followed the norms and guidelines prescribed for the Rishikul, the sagely clan, at the same time, upholding himself to a high standard. He executed all activities of the ashram daily and helped implement orders of Swamiji word by word with great excellence. And Swamiji was extremely pleased with his meticulousness. Mercy, we all are aware that Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj authored 35 spiritual books, scriptures in his lifetime, but the ashram did not have a printing press. So once these were made print ready by Prathamacharya ji and sent to the press, then Prathamacharya ji had the added responsibility of editing, proofreading, and even then errors remained because it was someone else, another set of non-Vihangam yogis, non-meditators, non-abhyas siddha folks who were trying to put everything into words on a piece of paper. So, due to poor understanding of the Vedic literature by the presses at that time, just things were always prone to error. This was the reason Sri Prathamacharya ji is personally called to Kashi to supervise printing. He was equally versant and learned in the languages of Hindi and Sanskrit. So, under his supervision, the publication of Yajurvediya Brahmavidya Bhashya continued, while Swamiji traveled to Gaya. So all work from preparing blueprint to proofreading copies of the scriptures written by Swamiji was being managed by Sri Prathamacharya ji alone, and this often led him to stay at the press, often for months at a stretch. Seeing all these troubles, Swamiji decided that he should now have a printing press of his own, an Adhyatmik Yantralaya that was established at a rented house in Madhumati Ashram, Gaya. This event landed additional press responsibilities on Prathamacharya ji. Not now all detailed tasks of the press, from buying important material, composing and proofreading to finally dispatching the monthly magazine Sadguru Sandesh, kept Prathamacharya ji extremely occupied. The situation was such that he couldn't even find time to do bhajan, his meditation sadhana. This caused a dilemma in his mind oftentimes. While Swamiji keeps performing yoga nushthan and rituals at Himalayas, sometimes at Dandakwan or Prayag, but I never get time for bhajan. To help Sri Prathamacharya ji with this grave concern, Swamiji sent a message once that the duty of Prathamacharya ji's bhajan is his own, which anyway would happen in an instant. While Sri Prathamacharya ji should be busy in handling the responsibilities bestowed to him. On hearing this, Prathamacharya ji immersed himself with even more energy in the duties ordained to him by Swamiji, which dutifully followed throughout his life. Following the orders of Swamiji now became his bhajan, and he completely discarded that concern from his mind, doing what the Guru has instructed. And when the Guru declares that my meditativeness is the Guru's concern, I need not bother. During his last days, Prathamacharya, Paramadhyarya Aradhya Sadguru Sadapaldeji Maharaj said to Acharya Shri Pratham that all disciples are your sons. You'll have to take them along with love and affection. Nobody should feel disheartened. Sons are of two types. One is Nadaputra and the other is Binduputra, or the biological son. We all are Sadgurudev's Nadaputra. Sadguru is our father, and he never desires seeing his sons, daughters suffer. But it is our samskaras that prevent us and force us to experience joy and sorrow. As we can see, there's so much to cover, so much to talk about when it comes to Sri Prathamacharya ji's short-lived but the most impactful life. There's much he did, which involved not just propagating the knowledge of Vihangam Yoga, but also the construction of ashrams. He never took any rest. Example, the construction of the Madhumati ashram in Gaya, Vrittikut ashram in Pakadi, and the ashrams in Godhamari, Tejpur, Assam. These are immensely important. He fulfilled the role as the preserver of Swarved itself, the encyclopedia of spirituality, making sure that this scripture does not get lost to the tide of time and misinterpretations. This is much more than a life one can live. I would like to conclude this brief expo into Prathamacharya ji's illustrious life with just one sentence that Sadguru Sadapaldev ji has spent in Swarved. That Prathamacharya ji obeyed this sentence every bit with every breath throughout his life. मैं उत्तम ऐसा बनूं जैसा होए न कोय, नहीं भूत वर्तमान में नहीं भविष्य जग होए. This, I conclude my talk here. So I know we can go on for long hearing about Prathamacharya ji and it would need more sessions. But I hope we can all learn something and take something away from learning about this great soul. And when we bow down to the lineage of our masters, we hold a special place of reverence for Acharya Pratham Sadguru Dharmachandra Devji Maharaj. Thank you very much. Jai Sadgurudeo all.
Thank you, Utkarshi, for sharing Swamiji's words of wisdom. I would like to request that if anyone has any questions or thoughts or would like to share any of their narratives on the same lines, please come forward.
Yes, sir, Gurudev.
Ji, Nandini.
Good morning, all, and thank you, Utkarshi, for a wonderful. Uh, but you mentioned one thing which I was curious, which is um, was indication of some major event. Bade Swamiji transmitted to Devji Maharaj. What was that about? That about the World War II or?
There's Sadgurudeo, Niranjanji. You sounded a little faint, but if I got it right, you're asking about that one event that Bade Swamiji conveyed to Prathamacharya ji. Is that right?
Yes, 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 yes. So just curious, like what event was he indicating about?
Uh, that is, there is no one particular event that the present Sadgurudev Swamiji has written about in this very detailed article. It's more to emphasize that Sadguru Sadabhal Devji Maharaj was Trikaladarshi. He could see not just the past, also know what's happening in the present, not just in his physical vicinity, but anywhere where his disciples are, that also could see the future. So he instructed, I believe, if I remember correctly, there are detailed diaries, detailed letters that each Sadguru, each Parampara Sadguru maintains, um, adding to a lot of the events that Sadguru Sadapal Dev Ji had ordained, foretold. For example, the biggest one being that in the third generation, in his third generation, Vihangam Yoga, Brahma Vidya will be spread across the seven seas, which is what we are seeing happening uh, under the guidance of Sadguru Swatantra Dev Ji Maharaj. So there have been instructions and some guidance about specific events that only the Sadguru would know, as received by Sadguru, as dictated or worded by Sadguru Sadapaldeji Maharaj. But there is nothing that is publicized other than the key events related to the spiritual lineage, related to the Vihangam Yoga Santa Samaj. So there are no major events, at least, that have been talked about, unless anyone else is aware of such prasangs. Please feel free to share. But to my knowledge, the big events are mostly that Sadgurudev has uttered, any of the Swamijis have uttered, are related to the Santa Samaj.
Thank you. Thank you, Vijay. And the other thing is that even Swamiji talks about that in the third generation, Bade Swamiji had predicted that um, Dham Vidya Prachar will happen in the whole Bhulok, um, and and the seven seas that you were talking about. Is that beyond the planet Earth? Because the Bhulok is seven dvipas. Is that the seven seas you are referring to, or the seven oceans on the planet?
Niranjan ji, Bhumandal Prachar is the term that Sadhguru Sadapal Dev ji had mentioned. That's the term I have heard from Sadhguru Dev Swamiji's mouth too during his Amritwani. So Bhumandal Prachar होकर रहेगा, ये एक योगी का संकल्प है. So Bhumandal Prachar, Bhumandal refers mostly to Earth. Again, I do not have uh, any experiential knowledge of any other lokas like the Deolok, for example, that we read about in Swarved. So I haven't speculated this, but you have me intrigued now.
The Bhulok has seven dvipas, and we are part of one of the central dvipa called Jambu Dvip. That's where our Bharatvarsha, Bharatkhanda, Aryavarte were basically. So that is how. Remember one of the Vedic mantras that talk about, like, we do the havan or some event like that. Then the Panditji always chants this mantra. But before the mantra is chanted to offer to rishis on higher lokas and to the devas on the swargloka. But when we uh, offer to them our respects and acknowledgement of offerings, then we give them our address. And this is how we give the address that we are in this ब्रह्मांड और चार ब्रह्मा के मुख वाले ब्रह्मा के ब्रह्मांड, वी आर हियर एंड इनसाइड देयर वी आर इन द भूमंडल। इनसाइड द भूमंडल जम्बू द्वीप में है, जम्बू द्वीप में हम भारत खंड में है, भारत खंड के भारतवर्ष में है, उसमें आर्यवर्त में है, उसमें इस शहर में है। यहाँ पर आप आइए और हमको एंड प्लीज ब्लेस अस, है ना।
Yeah.
so when I think when Swamiji talks about the Bhumandal Prachar, I'm just contemplating in my mind that maybe there is a maybe Prathamacharya himself is reincarnated in the um, uh, other parts of the Bhumandal, or maybe there's some other kind of prachar is happening in the other mandal, other islands inside the Bhumandal, beyond planet Earth. So I'm just so I kind of think about that, but so that is where this question was coming.
Oh, it's an excellent question about the definition of Bhumandal itself, which you've shared. I will try to research a bit. Again, I'll try to stay within the Vihangam Yoga, uh, the philosophy and the knowledge. But that is worth pondering. But one of the points that you raised about Prathamacharya ji, for example, Prathamacharya ji specifically was, um, as Swamiji wrote, so Prathamacharya ji was supposed to be liberated even in his previous birth, but he was pulled back in by Sadguru Sadapal Dev Ji Maharaj. And there is a written document about a lot that happened while Sadguru Sadapal Dev Ji Maharaj was choosing his successor. So he went through a lot of, I would say, a hiring process, a very diligent hiring process. He's written that I invited many, I chose many to be with me, and I tested them. I gave them the opportunity to become ready to take the Sadguru Pad. But that a lot of them did not uh, make up for any of the shortcomings. Many others left, completely abandoned the path. So in the end, I am forced to choose my own flesh, and my own flesh, my own descendant, the Mahatma, as my successor. So it was an interesting thing that I remember as soon as I started, I joined Vihangam Yoga, that it's not a patriarchal system. You need to have worked. It's each and every soul that we see in the Acharya Parivar, for example. It's not that they earned the knowledge there just by coincidence. It's the fruit of their numerous births preceding the one we see them in today. So
Indeed.
Prathamacharya ji actually was supposed to be liberated, but Sadgurudev pulled him back in through another 50-year long lifespan, which he kept running. No soul, if I were given a choice, I would not choose to go through the pangs of hunger, thirst, the constant sickness every now and then, the cycles of heat, wetness, and all these cleaning rituals, because that's that I need to go through every day, because the body has a tendency, the body is filled with mala and mutra. It has a tendency to get dirty no matter how much I clean it. I have to get dirty the next day. I would not have chosen another life form, another lifespan, another job, but he was brought in and he understood the responsibility doing Prabhu's work in the guidance of Sadgurudev, helping Sadgurudev by becoming his very first successor and preserver of Sarved. That he accomplished, that he accepted this responsibility despite knowing that no, I was done with all this, and still uh, went through it, performed everything he could to the best of his physical ability, knowing that he has a clock ticking. Soon as he got the Sadguru Pad, he knew the exact date when he would leave his body in 15 years of time. So to me, that stands out, that I don't believe that Sadguru Dharmachandra Dev Ji Maharaj would need to get another incarnation anywhere. I strongly believe that he's in the abode where we all came from.
Absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
And again, this is my understanding. I do not have experiential proof. So I would stand by this only when I have experienced it myself. But we all have the tools, we all have the guidance, and there's so much that I learned from Prathamacharya ji's Jeevani here that just gives me hope that, yeah, I think I'm on the right path. As soon as I keep following the Guru's guidance and keep doing my sadhana, I don't think I'll have to leave empty handed. Sadhana will go with me.
Could you elaborate a little bit on that, especially where Prathamacharya had left his body and he was ascending, and the prana, he was not able to attach onto the prana to come back.
Yes,
What exactly happened there?
it is recommended. There are several prasangs in this. Swami ji ke saath ek varsh is a book that describes some of this from another practitioner's experience in much greater detail. But it is it is understood that in the third level, for example, third level is about the Kundalini Jagran. Right. The first level is about controlling the mind right outside the body. The second level is making sure as soon as you have controlled the mind, you're able to control the mind within the body as well. The third level is about once you have purified, controlled the mind and purified the mind. Third level is about the Kundalini Jagran, which means the proverbial 10th door, the third eye that opens up, the ninth chakra, and the soul's consciousness is able to travel out of this body and able to see and witness so many things that the physical eyes cannot see. They're able to see, they're able to hear. The like Tulsi Das ji has written in Ramcharitmanas, Binu pag chalahi sunahi binu kana, kar bin karma karad vidhi jana, anana rahit sakala ras bhogi, binu wadi vakta bad jogi. And a yogi does not need physical eyes or the mouth to taste or even the legs to walk with. They're able to travel immensely. And there are so many autobiographies, for example, like Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yoganand ji, that also describe this activity, this ascent, that when the soul ascends, the soul's consciousness, which is the soul's eyes, they travel up and they're able to see all the scenes of this, not just this earth, in a radial fashion. They're able to see, they have spherical vision. They are able to see all around them, and then the radius of that sphere keeps increasing, and you're able to soon reach a stage where you are rising beyond the solar system, seeing all these beautiful nebulas and other solar systems, constellations, and eventually one is also able to see like the birth and the death of a universe, Srishti and Pralay. Those that expanse of universe or universes. And again, like you alluded to the Bhumandal, right? The lokas, the different lokas. That is a scene that gets all of us that can get an alpagya soul trapped, that you might soon lose sight of your own identity, the aham, and the aham in a yoga with Akshar Brahma and witnessing all these beautiful sights. Aham starts believing that aham, I am responsible for all this. I am the one giving birth to this universe and eventually collapsing it. I am the one in charge of all these souls around me who are living their puny lives, for example, in an instant on one of the planets within one corner of this universe that I've created. So that's when Aham becomes Aham Brahmasmi. And it is at that point Right before that, if you remember Sadgurudeo, if you remember who you are, that you're a disciple, that you are there to learn under the guidance of Sadgurudev, then the Sadguru himself appears at that stage and says, "This is not your destination, and this is not you." And he calls out that this is you, this light is you, whereas this other light is Akshar Brahma, and your destination is neither. You need to go through there to reach the Amarlok, which is where Sadgurudev resides between the Srishti and the Amarlok. That's the zone he has prescribed that you continue to meditate within that zone so you do not get lost. So there are many implications of this from my very limited understanding. It's not just about the path, it's not just about the guidance. It's continuously remembering who you are and not getting lost. Like it's also said, the nirvikalp samadhi. It's not samadhi actually. It's when a person deep in meditation loses sense of time and space. That is the basic definition of nirvikalp samadhi. But that is also a very dangerous time. That is during that Chaturtha Bhumi. If you are in yoga with Akshar Brahma and seeing all this, that is the ripe time for an Alpagya soul to develop Aham Brahmasmi, get completely lost. And if there's a certain duration, if you stay out of the body, your consciousness stays out of the body, because pranas slow down, right? The heart rate slows down when the soul is out venturing. That upon the passage of that duration, you may completely find you lose or permanently lose the life force. So that is also another something that scriptures define, that nirvikalpa samadhi is not the ultimate aim. See, sahat samadhi is the ultimate aim. So the bridge leading to that sahat samadhi is so precarious. Just imagine we're in the Pratham Bhumi right now, and how difficult it is to just stay focused without any distractions. Sorry if I took you on a long-winded path, Niranjanji, but that's kind of what I have understood, learned, and trying to experience with Sadgurudeo's grace.
Thank you. No, that's wonderful. Actually. And it's always good to revise and revisit those things, and that's what the purpose of the satsang is. That, that acts as a field for the sadhana, right? Yeah, I'll appreciate if others have any more questions.
Hello, Utkarshji. You have explained so very well Sri Dharmachandra Dev Ji as a Karma Yogi. It's amazing what he did. While I was listening, it just came to me, it's so impressive and inspiring. All three, Sri Swamiji, Sadafal Dev Ji, Sri Swatantra Dev Ji also, and Dharmachandra Dev Ji, they're all great Karma Yogis. Swamiji Sadafal Dev Ji composed this wonderful Brahmagyan, Swarved, at GK brought out. Then Dharmachandra Dev Ji, he translated and make it available as if for people to understand. That was a great service through his life. And Swami Swatantra Dev Ji is making it available. First, before that, the knowledge was available, but Swatantra Devji made Swarved as a one big volume, a wonderful reference sort of granth, which is so enlightening. So to me, while we're talking about karma yogis, they were all karma yogis, and we are getting the benefits. Thank you.
Thank you, Hasmukh Bhaiji. It's always a pleasure to hear your voice. You're the most tenured of us all. So please continue sharing your own experiences and interpretations. I wholeheartedly agree. It's every life before us. We have so much to learn from them, and seeing our gurus in action. Our daily concerns, daily chores and pains and cycles of life, social responsibilities, they just pale in comparison to what our masters have gone through. Jai Sadgurudev.
Do you know Utkarshi, who was our Bade Swamiji's Guru?
You're not audible, Niranjanji.
Who
He is
was
asking,
Bade Swamiji's Guru? Do we know that?
so did Bade Swamiji had any guru? So that's what he's asking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
What
yes.
question?
Bade Swamiji had Guru. बालापन अभ्यास में ममशे रंगुल राख तब महिमा जाना नहीं अन्य कवन दो साखी. So the Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj first had to prove himself, and he's one of those child prodigies, right? At 5 years of age, he started seeking God. So he went into the refuge of many acharyas, many saints, many gurus. But throughout the time, he was being guided by none other than the Nityanadi Sadgurudev, Sadguru Sukrita Devji Maharaj, the eternal saint who is Andamanda Kalakar hai, Vyapak Vishwa Mahan. So Nityanadi Sadgurudev is himself said to be in a spiritual form, in a spherical spiritual form that encompasses the whole earth as well, a whole Bhumandal. Again, I'm lost in those translations, but you can look at him as having 1 foot in the Srishti, in the creation, and 1 foot in the Amarlok. So he's the one who's the constant bridge between us, the lost souls, and the Almighty Parbrahma Parameshwar in the Amarlok. So he's the one who had been nudging Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj since he was little. Balapan Abhyas, when he was used to meditate, used to keep a finger on Sadgurudev's head. And Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj slowly realized, and then we all read about the prasang where Sadguru Prakatya Divas, for example. And there are different ashrams near the Jhusi ashram. There's the location where Sadguru Nityanadi Sadgurudev gave darshan to Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj. So Sadgurudev was Swamiji was constantly tested and guided all along his journey. And those 17 years of meditation made him eligible to receive the Sadguru position right from the original, the Nityana, the eternal Sadguru. So, yes, the Guru of our Guru is the Nityanadi Sadguru, the Guru of everyone, the originator of this knowledge. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. So Nityanadi Sadgurudev was a Vyat Swarup. How about in the physical form? Did he have any physical form? Guru?
Yes, that was the last known physical form. So Nityanadi Sadgurudev appears every yuga, every few centuries, and the last known was Kabir Sahib Ji. Kabir Sahib Ji, he appeared as a baby on, I think, a lotus petal in a pond, and he was adopted by a weaver couple and brought up as Kabir Das. So, and he was none other than Sadguru Kabir Sahib Ji, Nityanadi Sadgurudev. So that's why the Bijak Bhashya, the Bijak was written by Sadguru Kabir Sahib Ji, and the Bhashya, that the foreword was written by Sadguru Dharmachandra Devji Maharaj, and then eventually Vartaman Swami Ji did the Bhashya, if I'm not mistaken. So that is the other big scripture that goes beyond the survey into kind of the nitty gritties of a whole lot of things that we should learn experientially eventually. So Bijak Bhashya and Kabir Sahib, he's the guiding principle. That's why Kabir Dohas are a lot. Kabir Wani, Kabir Sahib ke Shabd that are played during Divyawanis also. So that's the last known physical form.
But while Swamiji was living, was there a physical guru? For example, Tulsi Das, he had a guru, and even Kabir Das, he had a guru. He had adopted a guru. Even when Rama Avatar happens, they always have a guru. So similarly, did Swamiji had, Bade Swamiji had a physical form guru.
No,
During,
he did
during
not. He did not need a physical Swamiji's, from what I understand. The Nityanadi Sadgurudev, whenever Swamiji needed guidance or help, he would appear, take on a mortal form, and appear in front. And there's also very interesting anecdotes around it. You go to the Vritikut ashram and you'll see the spot where Swamiji was supposed to be, and then Nityanadi Sadgurudev took the form of Swamiji and did a lot of prachar prasar in his absence.
was
So
it
it's
was Kabir Das his guru in his previous life also?
no
Swami?
Kabir Sahib Ji never took lives in a way.
No,
He
not
never
Kabir.
needed incarnations. He can just appear at his will, take on a body at his will, and
No,
when he left.
Bade Swami, he was a he was a um, he was a very realized soul in his previous birth, Bade Swamiji, and that was also in Uttar Pradesh. So at that time was his Ishq or his um, guru was Kabir Das also. Do we know that?
Sorry, you were cutting in and out. Uh, you're saying that Kabir Sahib Ji is the guru, right?
Uh, yeah, so Bade Swamiji in his previous life, before Bade Swamiji was born, right? Sadguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj, in his previous life, he was he was a he was a saint in Uttar Pradesh. He does mention about that. But
Okay.
do we know that in that birth was Kabir Das still his Isht, or was that not? That was the question.
Sadhguru Sadapal Devji Maharaj was a very unique soul. Where all of us are alpagya, right? We forget, but sometimes these rare souls, they remember how they came here. So I do not know about his previous birth, if he even if he had any, because in one writing he has said that मैं तो कौतूहल मात्र में मुक्ति धाम से आए, that out of curiosity I was just venturing. I wanted to see Kautuhal, curiosity, right? That I left the Mukti Dham, the Amarlok, and came here. And he said that he remembers everything, the time he spent in the mother's womb and everything. So I do not know if that he's referring to his first birth as Sadguru Sadapaldev Maharaj, or were they previous births too. But he does say that I remember coming down here and just kind of getting stuck, I believe.
Yeah, because somewhere he also mentions that Prathamacharya, he was his disciple in his previous birth, in his previous life, and that was also in the same area around Uttar Pradesh. And uh, so my understanding is that Isht would have been the same in the previous birth also, in the previous life. So that is where the curiosity was. Yeah.
I think that makes sense, but we can only learn about it or validate this. Maybe if you get an opportunity, you can ask permission to say Sant Shri Namdev Ji or
Ji.
Swami Ji to ask this curiosity. Ask permission if you have a question that he could entertain. Otherwise, I know the short way is experience.
Yeah. I think in one of the previous satsangs, we were discussing about this. That and actually Swamiji also talks about in his Amritvani. In his Amritvani, he did spoke about that Dharmchandra Dev Ji Maharaj was physical son in his life, in this life, but in the previous life, he was a very favorite disciple of Bade Swamiji. In Amritvani, Swamiji says that.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had discussed about that actually in this satsang. Maybe you were not on the call at that time. And so that's where all these curiosities come. But yeah, these are some of the questions to actually directly, kind of understand.
Yeah, I would encourage asking this to any of the sants we meet, and
Yeah.
if it's to be answered, it will be answered. If not, then they will change the topic. That's what my experience has been. I'd respectfully ask for their time and ask them. That always leads to interesting sansmarans.
Gee.
Thank you. And yes, I have joined this after a very long time. We were in India almost 2 months. So slowly getting back in touch. And thank you for having me. Back to you, Ridhuraji.
Yeah, thank you everyone who joined in this discussion and took part in this session. Your excitement and thoughtful questions made this really a great experience for all of us. Right. In the interest of time, I'll skip to the next segment. It's a couple of announcements. So yeah, I think this doesn't cover media. I just want to reiterate this. First of all, meditation and like 101 Kund Vedic Mahayajna is being conducted in California. You can join us. This is happening on Saturday, August 2nd this year.
Sadgurudeo, Rituraji,
J-
the latest flyer has been updated to 151 kund actually.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Yeah, that far did not. Oh, maybe I
That's
was not
information,
aware.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. So this is for the California one. So California is also 151. That's what we're saying. So this event is happening at Sri Vallabh Maha Ganapati Temple in San Martin. And then again we have another event. Switch back to another one. So this is happening in Phillipsburg, New Jersey on August 9th this year. As we all know, like the ashram is coming up in New Jersey. So this is for the inauguration of the Acharya Nivas. We will lay the like Swamiji will lay the foundation for this Acharya Nivas and the Gurukul, which is like coming up with the aim to raise future generations with high human values. So don't miss the opportunity. Join us and then celebrate this event with us. And now we have reached the last phase of today's satsang. I request everyone to sit down for Shanti Part. In Shanti Part, we chant for peace for everyone in this universe. May Sadgurudeo bless the entire cosmos with peace, love, and prosperity. I would like to request Jessica ji to recite the last few lines of Shanti Part for us. Over to you, Jessica ji.
Jai Sadgurudeo. Shanti Pa. Hey Prabhu Shanti Swarupa Ho. Shanti Shanti Maya Shanti. Shanti Shanti Jana Shanti Ho. Purna Shanti Maya Shanti. Hey Prabhu Shanti Pradhanaka.
How we do this?
Puraho Sarva Ashanti. Deva Sada Phala Shanti Maya. Shanti Shanti Sukha Shanti. Boli Sadgurudeo Bhagavan Ki Jai.
The black.
Jai. Thank you, Jessica ji, for a soulful recitation of Shanti Part. I would like to thank all of you for joining today's satsang. I encourage everyone to ponder upon the topic we discussed today. I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to Sulva ji, Utkarsh ji, Jessica ji, Niranjan ji, and Hasmu Patel ji for their seva and active engagement in this session, and for the team behind this for organizing and coordinating this satsang. I pray to Sadgurudeo for peaceful and spiritual week ahead for all of us. See you all next Sunday at 9 a.m. EST on the same Zoom session. Have a wonderful day and week ahead. Jai Sadgurudeo.